Thanks to the support as a channel member, Ras Al Sul. Well, boys and girls, a Football Manager video has never before in the history of the world been this important, because today we look to topple McDonald's. Hello and welcome to part 15 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that big FA Cup third round tie against Milton Keynes. Fine, I'll say it. Milton Keynes. McDonald's. We're playing McDonald's. We also face Grimsby in the league, and we'd like to win both of those football matches. Please and thank you, Football Manager. Gods, universe, whoever we're calling out to, we're in great form. The exciting thing is McDonald's are not. Despite being top of the league in the league above when this match was drawn, they've actually had a rotten December, which has extended into this first game in January against Harrogate as well. So fingers crossed. My favourite thing as well is Wimbledon that have done it to them. Wimbledon knocking them out of the Pizza Cup and then beating them again in the league, and it's just basically completely derailed them. And if we can put the final nail in that coffin, that'd be absolutely beautiful. We are going to have to do it with a slightly smaller squad than we had previously, because 3 of the loans that we brought in the summer have returned to their parent clubs, because the window has opened, and apparently might need to pay a little bit more attention to this. It seems the game defaults to 6-month loans rather than 1-year loans now. I'm sure it used to default to a year. This is very much on me. But Will Flint has gone back to Doncaster after not playing a single match for us. That's not actually true. He did play in the FA Cup, or the FA Trophy. FA Cup, there you go. He came off the bench in the FA Cup. So he did play a little bit. Mark Stowe has gone back to Arbroath, again, after barely featuring for us. But the one we'll miss the most is Leslie Adekoya, who did grab a couple of goals for us, came off the bench a few times, was our backup striker, but he has been recalled to Accrington. I'm part tempted to go back in for Max Leeson again, who looked really good earlier in the season. I don't know that we'd get him back. Tamworth cannot loan this player in, as doing so will break one or more of the loan rules. There's a limit of 6 long-term loans per season. Oh, now that is a problem, because it's January and only 2 of them are still at the club. We're going to have to do the rest of this season without loans, boys and girls. That's not ideal. That is not ideal. We have got 19 players, one of which is on holiday. Regan Clayton is going to be out for a month as well with an injury. We can't come close to filling a bench, and we can't do anything about it by bringing in new players. We could really use the money that we'd get from beating Milton Keynes and getting a big tie in the next round of the FA Cup. Going in, our bank balance is 230,000. Fingers crossed, we sell out, we win, we get prize money, we get a big draw in the next round. That's what's important here. So it's Rose in goal, a back four of Paul, Brown, Kakuri and Sears, Deeney and Brook in midfield, Leahy, Berry and Akamrich behind Evans up front. We don't really have much in the way of reserves behind any of these players at this point. I'm actually thinking recalling Akwe from his loan and getting him back in the mix in the first team squad. Although obviously we've got Finn and Shakuna and neither of them are getting in the team. It's just an extra body to have on the bench. And that's probably quite handy. Maybe train Shakuna to play in defensive midfield after all, which I talked about an episode or 2 back. We might just have to make do with what we've got for the rest of the season. Luckily, we are having a very good season, and fingers crossed we won't be derailed. Obviously, if we were to lose Evans, that would be a huge problem, because he is scoring goals for fun for us. Brown plays it across to Deeney, who is out of contract at the end of the season. One of several players who we've actually set for release, just in the hope of freeing up enough wage budget to maybe bring our player in. But there's only a couple of players who are out of contract. Kakuri was one of them, but we've extended his for a year. But the others are Shakuna, Finn, Akwe and Deeney, and we have set all of them for release. So despite Deeney forcing his way into the team this year, he will be gone next year, whatever league we're in. He'll be 33. The Deeney experiment will be over, and our FA Cup run might be over as well, because Milton Keynes have already scored inside the first 5 minutes. It is an absolutely rammed lamb ground here at Tamworth. Absolute capacity attendance, but obviously when your capacity is only 4,500, that doesn't make you a lot of money, and there's not a lot of money for losing in the FA Cup either. So if we do just get beaten today, does kind of ruin the whole let's try and make some money thing, which we really do need. So let's offer some encouragement. We don't have much in the way of other options to bring off the bench as the game goes on. The only attacking options would be Shakuna and Finn. We don't have a backup striker at all. We can't go to... I mean, we could potentially go to 2 up front. If we put Yusuf up front with Evans, we could bring Finn on or Shakuna on. So I guess there are ways to go a little bit more attacking, but we have not had a shot in this first half, which is weird because normally the step up from the National League to League Two isn't a particularly large one. I've had saves many times over where we've got promoted from the National League and then immediately got promoted from League Two because they're similar quality leagues. But we're top of the National League. Milton Keynes are in the playoffs in League Two, and they just look like they're completely controlling us, which is alarming, both for the need for a cup run now and for a potential future if we do get promoted. But we've just played beautiful football there, and if he stayed on side, which I think he has, we've just had an immediate response at the start of this second half. It's a lovely touch from a Camrich here. We've got Lee out on that side, plays it across, it ends up with Deeney, and then Berry slides it to a Camrich, and that little touch to give it to Evans in so much space, basically on the penalty spot, and Evans is not missing from there, and this is game on. That's our first shot of the game, and we've equalised. It is all to play for now. I mean, I can't be knocked out by McDonald's. I can't cope with it. Come on, boys. If you only win one more game this season, I don't think I mean that, but if you only win one more game this season, I want it to be this one. A Camrich is in and he scores. Come on then, a 14th goal of the season for him, and he has just woken up at the start of this second half. A goal and an assist for Yusuf Camrich. The other worry, of course, we've got going into this January is we have got players like him, like Kakuri, who are attracting attention, like Berry, who are attracting attention from bigger clubs. And the last thing we want is to lose one of our key players. Although, obviously, if someone like that were to leave, you would expect them to leave for a decent fee, which could then potentially allow us to bring in 2 or 3 players and might end up ultimately being beneficial. But obviously, we don't want to lose any of our best players when we're playing as well as we are. Camrich is tiring, so Kyle Finn is going to come on that right-hand side. That shows how threadbare this squad is getting. Idehen comes on at centre-back as well, and we really don't have much left in this squad. Ellis Deeney's going to come off. Antwi comes on to play alongside Brooke, and I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to cause any potential problems. Finn, of course, took a lot of corners last year, leading to a lot of goals, and it's another dangerous set piece again. Lee plays it across again. Evans is there, comes back out on this side to Finn, who's not able to force another corner, but we have got a throw on this near side where we do have a long throw instruction on, but obviously it didn't work because we didn't even get to see it as a highlight. 10 minutes to go. We are still ahead against Milton Keynes. Can we pull off the biggest victory of the series so far? We've got 2 more outfield substitutions. They're both coming on. Shakuna comes on for Berry. Kingdon's going to come on for Kakuri. We're the only fit and not on holiday player in the entire squad of Tamworth is our backup goalkeeper, Van Kooten, and he's the only player who's not been involved today. That's how small this squad is getting, but we are continuing to hold on to this 2-1 lead. 5 minutes to go. Come on, boys. This is quite important. Some of the things I've said about Milton Keynes Dons over the years, the Twitch chat made me go into a match there last year. They made me wear a shirt. I need the revenge. I need the vindication. Come on, boys. Hold on. And I think we're going to. Oh... That is very important, both on a personal note and also for the save. Double importance there. We are in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Look at the amount of money we've made from that. A sellout at the Lamb plus a big pile of prize money. £105,000 for winning in that 3rd round is huge. Kakuri is tired. That's not necessarily a huge problem because we've got a couple of centre-backs who we've promised more playing time to. So despite the squad being threadbare, I have no issue with sending Kakuri away on a little bit of a holiday. Keep him nice and fit. Keep him out of the way during the transfer window. Go and have 3 weeks off, son. We might call you back for the 4th round of the FA Cup, though, if that's within the next 3 weeks. Cam Rich did it all on his own, and now the draw for the 4th round and that potential big money game. So 4th round draw then, you know the drill. We want a big away game against a big Premier League club. Patrick Vieira is going to sort us right out here. There's not an easy game. There's nothing else winnable in this. We are the smallest team left in the entire competition. We want that away game against Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, anyone with a big ground. This one will do. We'll take away to Newcastle. That would make us getting on for £1 million, I'm sure. Goodness sake. This one, we'll take this one. No. Okay. I mean, even those two, they're not going to make us quite as much money, but they're still big games. No. Chelsea, we're getting smaller, but there's still money to be made at Chelsea, and that's Man City gone as well. This is not ideal. Swansea, get Crystal Palace or Bolton, Wigan. Liverpool going, gutted. We don't want these away games that we're going to lose, but also aren't going to make us a huge amount of money. Again, Brentford, meh. We want a bit. Are there any big clubs left in it? There's Arsenal left in it. It's probably the one big one. Forest, go to Watford. Wolves is a decent size stadium. That is a local-ish match away against a Premier League team who have a capacity of, hold on, press the right button, 30,000. It's not as huge as it could have been, but we are going to make more money than we've ever made before in one day in that match. And that, of course, will be tomorrow's video. But for now, let's go beat Grimsby. Well, for the Grimsby game, we are now at the point where there is nobody available who could go on the bench who's not already on it. Kakuri and Demenge both on holiday. Clayton injured for another 4 weeks. We are down to 16 players and 2 of them are goalkeepers. It's Rose in goal, a back four of Paul, Brown, Kingdon and Sears. Deeney and Antwi in midfield. Leahy, Berry and a Camrich behind Evans up front. Let's just keep our nice little run of form going and, keep as many players as possible fit for the Wolves game. Although, to be honest, we've now reached the end game in the FA Cup. It was all about getting the big away game. We've now got the big away game. We can stick the under 5s out against them. We're still going to make a big ton of cash, which is what the whole purpose was. If that bank balance by the end of tomorrow's episode isn't over £1 million, then I don't understand how an FA Cup run works anymore, because we should be making some serious money. Unless, of course, the Wolves fans ruin us and don't actually turn up to watch the match because they don't care. Are we local enough? We're probably not local enough. When I was at the Tamworth match a couple of weeks ago, everyone there's Villa fans, and Villa and Wolves are rivals, right? I know Wolverhampton's a little bit further away, but this feels like every person who's ever been to a Tamworth match is going to be heading for Molineux for that game. There's no excuse. If you're a Tamworth fan, you're going to Molineux for that match. It's not that far. So we're going to sell out our allocation, and hopefully the Wolves fans will just be excited at the prospect of winning 8-0 against non-league local upstarts. That'd be nice. We'd enjoy that. Can we also enjoy this one? We've not had a shot on target in 36 minutes. We're supposed to be the team dominating at the top of this league. What I don't want to happen now, and what does happen sometimes and we need to be wary of, is because we've now got the big FA Cup draw against a Premier League team, our form drops off a cliff between now and then because the players are all distracted by that match that's on the horizon. So we'll end up struggling for the next 3 or 4 league games before then. We'll then go there, get a pasting, and then come back and start winning again. I've been through that cycle in Football Manager many times over the years. I'd quite like to avoid it if possible, but sometimes it is unavoidable, and we don't look like we're playing with much in the way of inspiration today. Remember, we are still a part-time team as well, playing against full-time opposition. Grimsby, I'm pretty sure, are full-time. We're playing a lot of matches close together, so we are going to start getting caught out fitness-wise over this busy Christmas, January period, and also as we hit towards the end of the season. And the fact we don't have that full-time training is going to start to cause us problems then as well. So it's important that we get as many points on the board as possible now, because our form will start to stutter as the players just run out of gas towards the end of the season. So we Bottom line, we need a win today, and at the moment, we're not looking like getting one. An hour in, we've still not had a shot on target. Of course, we don't have a backup striker to bring on now. We are working on that. We'll hopefully have one in place in time for tomorrow's episode. But for now, we don't have anyone else to bring on. I guess we can stick a Camrich up front, potentially, but that's literally it. That's all we can do. Evans, lovely turn from him. He's heard I'm tempted to make a change up front. This is great work from him. Plays it into Adam Berry. And there's two boys combining who never let us down. Even though I was just talking about Evans potentially letting us down. But it's great work from Evans. Slides it across to Berry. Berry and a Camrich are actually both in there, ready to tuck that in. It was just a case of who got a toe on the end of it first. But it was really, really good work from Evans. And a tidy finish from Berry to put us 1-0 up and re-extend our lead back out at the top of the league. Although it hasn't updated yet, I don't think, but it will update eventually. Right, Berry is tiring, so Shakuna can come on for him. Camrich is having a poor game, so Kyle Finn gets to come on. And this is an opportunity for Kyle Finn to force his way back into my thinking. Obviously, at the moment, I've got him set for release. That doesn't mean I can't reverse that decision. If he forces his way back into the team and ends up playing well, he could still become a part of the long-term plan here at Tamworth. He's still only 25. In fact, mental note, recall Equay from his loan, get him back involved in things as well. We're light on players. If we can recall him, let's recall him. I don't think we've got anyone else who's out on loan. Shakuna playing it all the way back to Kingdon. It looks like it's getting very foggy here at the Lamb as we've got the floodlights on. It's a misty January evening. There's the ball over the top for Connor Evans, and there's goal number 19 for him, which does break Cullinan Lybird's goal scoring record from last season. And this year we've done it with a striker, the one thing we never really had last year. But this is good work from all involved. Once again, Shakuna absolutely doesn't look out of place in this team. He's just been very unfortunate at how good Berry has been since arriving. But it's good to see Shakuna still making these contributions, and now Sears playing it forward, looking for the run of Shakuna, but he can't chase it down. It remains 2-0. And who else have we got on the bench? We've got Idahen and Brooke. I mean, both of them are very much first team regulars who we have no issue at all bringing on. We've got a tired Paul at left back, a tired Deeney in midfield. I'd ideally bring them both off, but we're going to have to choose which one of them is going to be coming off in a second. Deeney lays it off to Leahy. Leahy takes a step inside, finds Shakuna. Shakuna out to Leahy again, and now gives it back to Brown. I mean, we're very comfortable on the ball, aren't we? Big, deep cross for Evans, and he can't keep his header down, and we are going to make that final substitution now. And I think we are going to take off Deeney. We're going to bring on Brooke. We'll swap those two round, and Paul is just going to have to. He's just going to have to cope. I'd love to be able to bring Idahen on as well, but we are once again caught up in this silly restriction of not being allowed to do enough substitutes at this level. Not that we could even put 7 substitutes on the bench for this match, because we didn't have 7 players. But, I'd be happy having 5 on the bench and being able to bring them all on. I don't need to have 7 there just to benefit from being able to make more substitutions. That's good work from Leahy. Talk about our fitness levels, but he is just, in the 80th minute, when he shattered, he played at the weekend, just won the ball back, burst through, and Evans has won a penalty. Worryingly, Evans has stayed down holding his leg, which I'll give the penalty back if it means we don't pick up an injury. It's going to be Lewis Brown to take the penalty as well, and it's a pretty poor penalty. The goalkeeper saves it. Goes out. Cool. There's a name from non-Nita legend past coming on for Grimsby. Rekyle Pike. We're going back 6 or 7 FMs when he was one of our heroes at this stage of the save. Wonder if he's available to come in and fill the void as our backup striker. Very, very tempting. Apparently he's a winger now. Used to be a striker back in the day. The people who've been watching for years, they remember Rekyle Pike. I remember Rekyle Pike. What a man he was. 2-0 still, 92 minutes on the clock. It's going to be Finn to hit the in-swinger. How many times did this lead to a goal last season? Finn with the corner. Brown and Kingdom were both under it. It gets cut back to Leahy. Leahy takes a step inside, lays it off to our right back, Ryan Sears, who has scored. Did he do that on his weak foot as well? He's stuck that into the top corner from the edge of the area on his weak foot. We are too good. We're too good for this level. We've assembled a non-league super team, and I didn't even know where I was doing it. I was doing it as it happened. But get him out at left back as well. Everyone gets a go at left back. If he can do that with his left foot, you're not telling me that boy can't play left back. 3-0, we'll absolutely take it. 9 points clear at the top of the league again. And now all eyes switch to Wolves, which will be tomorrow's episode. Hopefully, by then, we'll have a signing or two through the door as well. Maybe the return of a Quay from his loan as well. And we're going to make some money. If you enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.